I'm going to hit live. Happy, what is it for most of the world? Saturday evening, Sunday morning. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Steph. How are you?
Hi guys. Look, it's Lucky. He's joining a little bit
Oh,
for
oh.
now
I'm
before
just,
he's like, nah, I'm gonna leave it.
I'm just noticing right now you're super cool and I'm super warm. So we're like showing the whole color spectrum.
So cool.
And I'm warm-hearted or something. Um, So before we get into the whole show, I this is one of the few weeks where Steph and I have barely chatted or shared a message since the last live show. So how the hell are you? What have you been
Yeah.
up to?
Oh my god, this week has been quite stressful, pretty exhausted.
What's going on?
Working working constantly as usual, but Tuesday was actually recognized as Giving Tuesday, so I was doing a lot of like promotional stuff, just trying to help promote like smaller businesses. And we are also doing like a live stream for everybody that's on our Discord channel. Got to talk with everyone. We were doing a marathon for like 16 hours. So
Yeesh.
exhausting, but it was so fun. And I just got this like shirt in. It's actually supporting a small judo school, like nearby, and it's. I was like, all right, cool. There's like shirts. I'm gonna go and buy some and support. So guys, support those small businesses, the local businesses. But yeah, so I'm actually gonna have a beer tonight,
Woo!
and Matt's
Shit's
gonna
gonna get
have one in the
wild.
morning. Nah, I'm kidding.
I do not have any beers in the house. It is 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and I've got a shoot with a yoga instructor after we finish this, so I better not go in tipsy. Um,
Oh, that's
but
exciting.
Yeah, it should be good. I've got a list of videos that I want to get done over the next kind of 4 to 5 weeks or so. So I've been kind of making contact with some local models through different photographers I know and trying to build the network out here. Um, in the last week, we have been rushing around like crazy, house hunting and the occasional catch up with friends. Actually, not so much in the last week, more the week before that. Um, Numbers are up slightly here, nothing like in other parts of the world, but they are up, so everyone's being extra careful at the moment as well. Um, got my Hong Kong bank account set up, which was a big one. I'd heard that can be difficult. There was actually someone in the show last week who was talking about it being a subject of racial profiling and whatnot, who actually left a comment on one of my videos. I don't see him in the chat today. Basically calling me a liar, saying that it's impossible to get a Hong Kong bank account the way that I did, and then wouldn't reply to my messages. So if you see this later, Daniel, you either are misinformed or full of shit because what you were saying is a lie. Um, and yeah, we've got a couple of appointments the rest of this week to finalize things for the new studio space, apartment, and whatnot. So I will be bringing you guys along for that with a vlog of my time when I first got out of quarantine and when we're house hunting, and then one moving in to do, to view a tour of the place that we're going to be living as well. So it should be quite fun. Um,
Oh, do you still have that nice view behind you, or
this week, yes. I'm not sure about
that
next week.
view?
Oh, yes, we have to do our weekly view check, right? So, I should probably switch it to
This
the
is
one
all I
shot.
have.
Now, this is the coolest thing I think here is that I basically have a variable ND of a blind. I can set the blind however I want it. So let's say, let's do a little bit more light, a little bit more, a little bit more. Oh no, a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less. That's kind of fun, right? A very nice way to start the day, to be able to just from bed hit that and have it switch out and show you what's going on in Hong Kong. Oh, why am I getting giggles in the background? Oh, not sure. But yeah, so there was no races on the last couple of nights, but it's been very cool having this view on it. The cats absolutely love it. So yeah, we're staying right now in Happy Valley at a place called, gonna pick me out of this backlit situation. Hi. Place called Apartment O, which is in Happy Valley. Oh, they have two actually. Our one's in Happy Valley. There's one in Causeway Bay, which is just nearby. We've discussed this, but have you been to Hong Kong, Steph?
Nope. I
Oh.
want to,
Well,
but
overall, you can say it's pretty small, and uh, from on Hong Kong Island is especially small. You can really get around most places really easily. So the apartment we're in now is right at Happy Valley. It's at the tip of a racetrack, and you can walk from here to two or three or four or most of Hong Kong Island's hotspots, within about a 20-minute comfortable walk. So it's been good. Now, I don't know if he's in the... Oh, first of all, hi Juan. Great to have you in the chat. Glad that you could join us this week. We've missed you, buddy. Glad you could be here. Now, this week our theme was signs, and I chose it. Someone suggested it actually in last week's chat, and I thought it could be a good one. And I was actually, it hadn't occurred to me at the time, but then I realized a friend of mine has done a book on the signs of Japan. It actually sprung to me because whilst I was in quarantine, I had a couple of friends send me books. So I was looking through and giving feedback on a friend's book to Greenland. And then, not a photo book, a book about the time in the 80s where a friend was setting up an investment bank in Qatar. So two very different reading materials. But it reminded me of my friend Luca, who may or may not be in the chat, who was in Japan for living and working for some period, and he's making a zine of the street signs of Japan. And if you've been to Japan, they have, apart from some crazy signs, just really cute characters. And there's a what do you call it? Like a mascot, a cartoon mascot for everything. So every city, town, like go to a small town and that town's water department, roads department, this, that, and the other will all have their own little cute character that represents them. So you can check out the details of his book below. It's not a sponsored thing or anything like that. Luca's just a friend of mine, and there's some cool shots there. So I thought we would start off the slideshow of the shots you guys entered with some of his. And for the next theme, because I'm going to be moving and getting the whole place sorted out, having relocated from America, it means we didn't bring a lot of the stuff. So as well as finding a house, now we need to buy beds, sofas, appliances, all of that fun stuff. I'm going to not do the live show for the next 2 weeks. I may do a Q&A at some point during there, but I'll be doing more out there hands-on shooting videos instead. And we'll pick up the live shows on Saturday the 26th for American time, or Sunday morning the 27th for Asia and Australia. And the theme will just be your best shot of 2020. So get involved with that one. So, good to see you, Juan. Let us know what you've been up to other than appreciating my fancy blind. Let's take a look then at some shots. So these first few are ones from that Luca sent in that I could show related to his project. Now, like a theme I think we're going to find a lot in today's show, it helps to know what this sign is actually really telling you. It's hard to imagine why there's an ad for a guy dropping a ball and two people about to fight in soccer in the middle of what appears to be a garden. Behind that looks to be like an actual planted, like where you grow vegetable garden. And it seems to be a sign about being a good sportsman or something like that. But cute, and I don't think I've ever seen characters like those two guys, nose to nose. A nice combination of scary and cute, very Japanese.
I think all signs should be like that cute, though. I feel like I would pay way more attention. Is that weird?
Oh, you just take a photo. You don't even pay attention to what it's telling you to do. But like this
Oh
next
yeah, no,
one,
I wouldn't.
a really angry truck. So I guess this is saying beware that there's trucks on these roads as well. But then right there, framed behind it, is the barricades to stop cars coming through. So this is along the lines of kind of the potential that I think street sign shots can have, where it. So the challenge we're going to have in today's one is just having a shot just of a sign. For me, is not a great photo unless it's really done in some creative way. If it's got an interesting juxtaposition of the sign and other elements in the shot, or something creative about the way it's been shot. Otherwise, it's the same as just taking a flatly lit headshot of a good looking person, or a straight on shot of graffiti or of a statue that someone else did. It's really just kind of documentary snapshot photography rather than something that's your own created work. So here, having the barricades there and then the guy in the background, it starts to tell a story of, well, kind of that goes together, and also raises questions of how, I guess that's why the sign is so old. I don't think they have the angry, evil trucks anymore in Japan, but they've since installed barricades anyway. Now this one, something about don't go fishing or flying kites at the power lines. How big is that guy with the fishing rod, by the way? Because that is a really tall power line.
I mean, can we just acknowledge how cute the power line is?
Is he meant
Like,
to be?
please don't, don't, don't do that.
Is he trying to catch Godzilla with that rod? My goodness. And it looks like he's using candy as a bait. Interesting.
I don't know.
Leave us your thoughts, guys. And if you're in the room, Luca, step on up to the mic and let us know a bit about these images. Sorry, Steph?
It just makes me think. It just makes me think like, okay, these signs, they have to be there for a reason. So maybe in the past they had that, like somebody was flying a kite or somebody was just fishing nearby.
I think it's just
Like
for
there was
the.
that one guy that just had to just mess it up, and it's like, all right, we need a sign for this because who would have thought? But we have to put one up now.
I think it's a combination of the two. There's the this happened and now we need to do it, but also but let's make it extra kawaii, extra cute, and extra Japanesey to make it work. In the same way, why does shower caps in America need a warning saying designed only for one head? Or that if you microwave this meal, careful, the contents will be hot. I mean, we
Yeah.
don't need signs for the very lowest common denominator. And this one I don't really get either, but it's something again to do with baseball, and it's cute, and the guy kind of has a round face like the character. I don't know.
People play a lot of like baseball in Japan.
Yeah, it's
Is
the
it big
national
there?
sport.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. I
Did not know that.
guess they're not as big of revenue as the American Baseball League, but it's huge, like Cuba as well. But now soccer's kind of taking over in Cuba over baseball, but it's huge, huge, huge. Actually, I think when Michael Jordan left basketball to play baseball, did he do a bit of time in Japan as well? I'm not too sure. Anyway, I could be making that
Oh,
up. Or maybe I'm just thinking it because the sign under this one has an MJ in it and it's subconsciously got in my head. Ooh. Okay, so there we go. Thank you. Do check out Luca's zine if you're interested in seeing more of that cute Japanese sign goodness. I normally wouldn't check a message here, but let me just check that it isn't Luca letting me know. All right, so let's jump in and now take a look at the shots you guys entered for signs. I need the info on to be able to see this. So this is Alex Walker, who I know is in the chat. The keywords say this was taken on a Canonet QL17G3 with Cosmo Photo Monofilm black and white ISO 100. Um, so, I guess the sign here is the donuts and the inner vibe, both funny puns of both the shop and the band name. Um, I don't know. I haven't got a set criteria against which that I can really judge this kind of a thing. So is it, I guess it could be any of things. Is it witty? Does it tell a story? Is there an interesting interplay of elements? Is it really beautifully shot? Has it been lit great or shot at a time of day where the lighting is great? Is it a creative angle? Any of those different things. So for me, this is a good documentary shot of these two buskers in, I don't know what part of the world. What's the sign say here? It looks like it's in London. It has a sign, so it qualifies. I don't know that the sign itself is a crucial part of it, other than that the guys seem to be in a vibe, and it's called In a Vibe, and Steph is being attacked by a mosquito. What was that?
There was like a little gnat, sorry.
Oh my lord. Yes, any thoughts on the first one, Steph?
Um, okay, I feel like the focus was supposed to be on like the performers and the in a vibe, but my eyes were actually really drawn to the donut.
That's because
And
you're a
I
donut
mean,
fiend.
maybe I was thinking maybe it's probably because of that, because I was like, wait, is it donuts? So then I actually had to look it up, and yes, they make handmade donuts.
And I guess tied in
Um,
knots, and because it's in Nottingham, so that's why donuts.
yeah, actually, and I was like, ooh, they look really good.
So, for those of you
I don't
who
know.
have
I mean,
seen a lot of Steph but haven't seen her eat, she actually doesn't eat that much. She doesn't go over the
I
top. When I
don't.
take her out for seafood and whatnot, nothing. She's not. She doesn't go wild at all. Although at the all-you-can-eat sashimi, she put in what she thought was a pretty good effort. But
Apparently not.
watch my behind-the-scenes vlog from Vegas back in February, March this year. At the end, the wrap of the shoot, I took the team wherever they wanted for dinner. Highbrow group wanted In-N-Out burgers and uh, Krispy Kremes. By the time we got out of the car and into the house, Steph had eaten half the box of Krispy Kremes.
No, I did not.
By
I
the
ate
time
like
we packed up, you had.
two.
No, you
Okay, yeah.
had
By the
like
time we packed
six.
up, I had. I don't remember. Okay, it's different because, like, okay, if you're gonna get Krispy Kreme, you have to just get the normal glaze. If it was like any of the other fancy stuff, I can't eat as much. But if it's the glaze,
Well,
then it's
thank you
like
for your theory, but the
pretty good.
point is, you ate half a box of them. So yes, no surprise and no
I didn't want to
disrespect,
waste
Alex,
it.
that her eye went to donuts rather than whatever was on screen. Let's move on and hope there are no other delicious treats. Charles Young.
Okay.
Now I saw this one. Signs in the Chicago hood. I mean, I can see it's four guys outside of a convenience store, but I really don't know what we're meant to get from this. It's just four guys on a corner with a really low light, poor image quality, I guess blown up. Um, Maybe there's something about the signs, the Illinois link or something that tell us something about the time and place that would give context that is eluding me, but I don't really get much on this. It looks like it was shot from a car window as you were driving past, Charles. Is there anything there that jumps out at you, Steph?
I mean, it kind of feels like almost like security cam footage, or like if you had like a dashboard cam on your car and you just kind of took a still from that. Um, I mean, I think it was framed more to the left so we could see like what the building was, because maybe I think that that's just the convenience store that they're hanging out
Yeah.
by.
But you
Yeah, I
can't
don't
even
know.
make out
I think
people at
science in
all.
all is a very hard theme, not just to actually like submit to, but also to kind of judge.
True. So give
Yeah.
ourselves a little bit of credit. We're doing great, Steph. Steph, You're
Yeah, it was
doing really great.
amazing.
Let's, if you have questions, folks, please send them in. I have lovely Juan and lovely Yobo sending through the questions. Ask Matt or Ask Steph hashtag so we know who it's for. And let's, I don't know, look at, say, 6 shots in total and we'll jump into questions. So that's 2. This one from Chris. Now, certainly a car or the body of any celebrity is a billboard now. If
Hmm.
you, I was talking to a friend of mine here about this recently, that I always thought when I was like young, that it just seems so wrong that when someone gets to be a rich and famous movie star, then the brands give them stuff. That when you're
Yeah.
21, you're dying to have, well, I don't know what people are dying to have, but a Patek Philippe watch or a something something handbag or a top of the line camera. And then when you get to the top of your field, then you're getting offers to be given it when you can at that point actually afford it. It just seems like a massive slap in the face when you can't afford it. So anyway, that was just a thought about that. Actually, the bodies of celebrities, like the wrist of George Clooney, is a billboard. If he steps out wearing a particular watch, it will, probably be sold out. So for this one, the thing with shooting cars either at a crazy fast shutter speed or when they're in the runway parked, if you can't see any movement, they may as well be just, in the pits. There's no movement to tell the story. Now, I think this was taken whilst it was at speed, at a fast shutter speed. But we're just verging on the tourist view of seeing more of the butt of the car than the front of the car, so I would probably like to see more of the front. But in terms of seeing a nice variety of signage on it, that certainly works. And now, whenever I see Michelin, I don't think of tires, I just think of restaurants. And isn't that funny? Because it's running Goodyear tires, but it's still got a Michelin sticker on it. Silly.
I mean, oh, actually, I know this is not related to the photo, but have you seen that Die Hard battery commercial?
Nope.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so
Pretty
should I
good.
Google it? We don't actually
You should
in
you
the
should look it up later. It's fine.
in our apartment here we have a TV, so it's been on sometimes, and it's so cute. Tyson, I think, has never seen a TV. Loki had one when we found her. We had one in Sydney, but I don't think Tyson had ever seen one. So whenever it's on, she's like running over and smacking the screen when she sees it moving around.
Wait, have you put up like videos of cats or anything?
No, but when there was a wildlife one of birds, they go ape shit about that. But same because we're on the 20th floor here. When you see birds flying around out the window, they both run to the window and start making their funny noises. I see a question here from Lucifer. How do I send my photo? Uh, we only do it beforehand. So each week we announce what the next theme is going to be. And then if you go to mattgranger.com/live, and it's actually a good time to remind people of that. I know, and I really appreciate that we have people submitting on and on and on. Please don't stop. But please do check that page for what requirements I'm asking for. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I was asking for smaller files because I didn't know how my internet connection would be. Now we know it's great. I'm asking for bigger ones. So for example, this one from Chris is still on the smaller size. So if you could check the description at mattgranger.com live, that will tell you how to submit your file, what file size and naming that we need, and where to send it. So please check that, and that'll also tell you the cutoff. So our next one is going to be in 2 weeks' time. No, taking 2 weeks off. So in 3 weeks' time, and the theme is your best shot of 2020. So make sure your metadata is intact so we can see it was taken in 2020.
I mean, if you want to be on the safe side, just like submit tomorrow.
Yeah, unless you really think your best shot is going to come in the next 2 weeks, and then fair enough. But we do always
Yeah.
get a few that miss it by a few hours, so don't be that one. And we'll give away loads and loads of prizes in that final one for the year. This one from Chris Gamma. Now, whilst I think it's kind of funny, and the funniest thing to me is that if this is any kind of official sign, even for like a caravan park, that they chose that
Mhm.
font. Um, I guess it's like a joke sign in somebody's yard because the choice of words, it's more good alliteration than anything else. So it's the kind of one that's like, haha, what a strange sign, but it's just it's just a snapshot of what exists. There's no offense, there's
Yeah.
nothing creative about it, and actually it's got crazy banding through it. So I don't know what's going on with the shot, but it's it give you a chuckle because thinking back to Steph's point of there had to have been a reason that they needed to put that sign up. Um, and I
I would
like
love to have seen like a wider shot of, I guess, the environment that they're referring to. Like, what
just
if
a
it's
sea of
like
vomit.
a children's park or something, or it's, I don't know, what is a crazy place to have a sign like this?
Front
A
yard of
pool.
a church.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah,
Boom.
definitely.
Or a
Wow.
monastery. Boom.
Wow.
Okay, let's look at this one and then we'll go take some questions. Daniel Swainpole from Namibia. I'm not sure if I've been on the highway to heaven, but that terrain is certainly very familiar. So here, I think, I mean, this is no offense to anyone in here. I'm just kind of giving the off the top of my head thoughts. This isn't like I've spent hours thinking about this of how to offhandedly offend someone. But these are probably the least interesting signs, but the most carefully crafted and thoughtful image that we've seen from the people submitting so far. So you've got the three signs that actually give you information about where you are and what you're doing, and the idea that it's a, so I guess that's a road marker, not a speed limit, 200 kilometers an hour on that back road. The four-wheel drive, the terrain, you've got the mountains in the distance. The only thing I'd probably like to see more of the distance in the shot. So like stepping forward to your right, having highway to heaven right on the left of frame, and having some more of the clouds in the background. And it looks like a bored wife. Oh no, a wife doing a duck face in the front seat. Love it. So I'm going to give that a pick because for me that's a shot that is, the signs are an important part of it, but it's a thoughtful, well put together overall shot. Any thoughts, Stephanie?
Actually, I like it. I kind of wish either you could see that the car is in motion, or if you actually had a photo of someone walking the opposite direction of the highway to heaven. It's like, nope, they're not going that way.
Well,
They're going this
they
other
are. They're
way.
driving away from the highway to heaven.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I just wish the car was more in motion, I guess.
So
I don't
with no
know. But
driver and the wife instead of duck face looking horrified.
because it looks like the driver is on the like left side.
No, this is
So like
like the civilized part
there's
of the world. So the driver is on the correct side and they use the correct measurement of distance and weight. So yeah, I'm out of
wow.
America now, so I can
Okay.
say that. You
Yeah,
guys
I
are
was
on an
gonna say pounds
island.
and was
Pounds,
really.
miles, get with the program, guys. Um, um, nice one, Daniel.
I don't know.
Love you, love you, love you. Only teasing. Okay, so let's take a look at some questions. Juan has sent through Photorescent. Will you do a second part of the geisha video? You know, that is actually over a year overdue. I have all the footage. It was and is something that I really, it was the best thing I shot in 2019, and that was a normal year where I was traveling a lot. I made a photo book from it. I've got all the footage. I could do a second one. It'll just be a matter of when do I do it, because actually, you know, I did, let's see, there's a couple of videos in the past year that I thought were outstanding that just went nowhere. But that one, as opposed to say, I did a shoot with Dancer Brandon and I did the Jules and Lorena video with Johanna, both of which got basically no views. But at least they didn't take me like a week to edit. The geisha one does, because there's 3 camera angles and it was over an entire evening. And if I make it, I want it to be well done and respectful to the people who were involved. And I just can't take a week to edit something that nobody watches, you know? So I hope to find time to do it at some stage. I think we have some other ones. Alex Walker, I can't remember seeing it recently. Could you perhaps do a video on night shooting of city lightscapes, both from a distance and more street view? I don't see why not. I've actually got a lens that would be perfect for that I wanted to do a review on. I mean, a city that's pretty well known for its night lights as well. So I don't know when, but yes. And another one from Alex, also on long exposure light trails. I'd love to see some of Hong Kong's street nightlife and architecture. I'm pretty sure I've done both of those topics in the past, but certainly could be a good time to update them. Does anyone have a question for Steph?
All right, cool. Moving on.
Okay. Well, I don't see
Cool.
any others here in the chat, so thank you for sending those ones through, guys. So then let's just jump on back and take a look at some more pickies.
Cool.
Okay. David Moore. Full morning sunrise. So I get what you're going for here. You're wanting the sign and then the flurry of the feet coming in, going through, that kind of thing. I don't think you quite got it here. I think it's a difficult one to do, but you need to have a different frame on it. So firstly, you only had a 1 second exposure. I'm looking at the stats here. 14mm f22 ISO 400. So I mean, there was no need to be at ISO 400 and f22. You could have dropped your ISO down and then given yourself more shutter speed, same with your f number, or giving yourself more flexibility with your f number. If you want to get more of the people moving, I would frame it lower and have less of the sky. It's just kind of making your exposure really difficult, and actually it makes it difficult to even see all the people moving through there. You may be able to bring it up with a bit of selective editing on the bottom third of the image, but it's a great sign, but I don't know that you got to where you're probably hoping to go for with this image. Any thoughts on that one, Steph?
Yeah, I think that there's potential here. I think I would have probably preferred it if it was like more straight on shot, so you don't have like that weird uh corner thing. I don't know, like I don't know what that is. I guess this is part of the infrastructure of the building.
It is hard to get a shot that gets the whole name. You have to be right in square on, and he was probably trying to avoid being in the rush of the people in the morning. But yeah, I agree. There is that a little bit of space on the right that maybe you could have framed that up a bit better. And reminder to you, David, the resolution we want this week is 4K, not the 1080. Sorry, I think I cut you off there, Steph. Did you have other thoughts?
Oh no, that was pretty much it. Just like a different angle and just kind of getting the distraction out of the way in the corner.
Cool. Dennis DeMac, The Road Less Traveled. It's, what's going on here? 1/80th of a second, but it seems all unsharp. Maybe it's the backlighting and all of the greenery, or I'm not really sure what's going on this one. It doesn't kind of have the mystery I think it needs. That path to make the sign "Do Not Enter" work, I think it needs something more. Here, I think the angle's off. It's just taken at standing height, which is a bit lazy. Maybe get down low and get a more interesting composition on it. Maybe stepping further back and using a longer lens rather than this ultra wide. It was maybe taken with a phone to get more of the consistent dark green in the background, which would then eliminate that top bright band in the background and really make the sign pop. Yeah, I don't think it has enough to hold me. Steph?
I feel like the sign doesn't really make sense to me because I don't see a trail, to be honest. I think I could see like the start of one, but I think because of the angle, like that tree being in the way, I just don't even see why anyone would walk there. But plus, I don't really know much about nature because I don't really go hiking much. So yeah, for me, it's a little confusing, honestly.
Okay, not a highway to heaven.
No, that one's a little
Dirk.
more like on the nose.
Now, can I still hear you? Hello?
Hello,
Damn.
hello.
Okay. Why is that happening?
What?
I'm hearing all my text come through my computer and I can't mute that because it mutes here. Anyway. Dirk.
I thought you were annoyed that you heard me. I was like, wait, what?
Damn it, I still hear you.
Dang.
Now, I actually took a shot like this myself just like a week or two ago. It was an odd situation in the middle of a shopping mall in Lai Chi Kok in Hong Kong. And it was a hot dog stand, but then it was a guy dressed in like 50s clothes that just happened to be having a snack. Maybe he worked at like a retro menswear store or something, and he was sitting there alone with his briefcase and his checkered vest and everything. And it was the guy that drew me in, but there were signs in the background. But here, and again, unless this is some famous stand or there's something interesting that I'm missing about the sign itself, I don't think the shot has enough ambience to make it work. It is a shot of a sign, but again, I'm not. I feel like maybe I'm missing something because nothing jumps out at me about this as being. I don't even really know how to explain it. What do you think, Steph?
Feel like maybe taking it a different angle, but
Did
at
I just
first
hear
I actually
Timmy
read.
have a big sigh?
Yeah, he just had a sigh. He's probably playing video games, and he's just kind of like losing. You should hear him normally when he's actually like loud.
Okay.
But I when I first saw this, I honestly read this as GMO grill. I
Okay.
was like, huh? And I was like, wait, what? Oh, and I was like, oh wait, no, that is probably not right whatsoever. I feel like if it was in a better light, I could probably see what there's like a piece of paper like taped to it on top. I don't know what that says,
That's just a
but
special.
oh, is it? Okay.
I think it's.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
it
I
is what
feel
it
like
is,
there
but
could be something. I
I mean, we can
feel
see.
like there could be something. I don't know.
I do like that you can see the woman in between the two customers. Um, if it's just going for like a documentary shot, that's fine. But I don't think we have, sometimes at night with the small pins of light can give a really interesting ambience. But I just don't think there's enough here to give us that. But, maybe there's a shot coming in, I don't know to where. Um,
Also, I'm curious. Not German, but like, so are there any like I guess like sausages that are curry because this is currywurst and jumbo curry? That sounds really good.
I think it's the sauce they're in. If we have someone in
Mm.
this part of the world, let us know. And of course, worst is just sausage.
Yeah, I,
Ian Knight,
I would.
Brexit protest. So I don't know the language, falsus, no, maybe Italian. Um, Pointing out that the Brexit bus and the quote of how much being in the EU was costing was horseshit. Good luck with that. That's
Latin?
still going on. Well, omnibus is, but I don't know about the whole sentence. So this is quite cool. I don't take, well, it is, I guess it's taken at a rally, so it should be, in a sense, it's a political statement, but you don't need to agree or disagree with somebody's political stance to appreciate an image taken at that kind of an event. But here, I do think the framing of the guy works really well. You have selectively edited it to darken down the other faces and bring his up, but I think it works pretty well. I would probably bring down a little bit of space from the top, but that's about it. Any thoughts on this, Steph? I'll give it a pick too.
I yeah, I was gonna give it a pick. I
Well, so you
actually
say.
like everything about this. But yes, definitely pull it in from the top. But I like that the guy is like in focus. And I did look it up. It is actually in Latin and it means false in one thing, false in everything. the Latin phrase.
Mm.
So yeah. Well,
Mm.
yeah.
50.5% of the population voted for it or something, though. Um, anyway, let's avoid politics. Although I have to say, it's
Mhm.
interesting that since moving here, I keep getting pummeled with questions about politics and that kind of thing, which I didn't get so much when I was in the States. I wonder if the people asking has changed. Jerry Vinterson. Now, does this feel like a composite to you?
Mm,
Maybe
I
it's,
don't. I don't know.
yeah, me either. Maybe it's just the treatment that's been put on it. That it's funny the do and not just don't kind of match at all, and then the T as well looks like a Tesla T. But I mean, as it's a cinematic shot, it is humorous in the sense that so often, and I thought that's all we were going to get, is shots where, someone's smoking by a do not smoke sign, or like I took of you in London, don't touch the wall, and I had you climbing the wall, that kind of thing. But this one I think works really well, and the couple sneaking off is an absolute parable of horror films. So I think that's worth a pick as well, and I'll give it one before Steph has a chance. Any thoughts?
No, I'm good. You already gave it a pick. I just like. I think it's creative and it's funny and um. Yeah, guys, just like read signs and just don't like not listen to them. Come on, you watch horror movies.
Okay,
You're not
see, this is
trespass.
one of the ones that I thought we would get more of, but I have to say this one I think is really well done from Laith Stevens.
Yeah.
So if you notice that
Pick.
Laith didn't win, well done, Steph. If you notice that Laith hasn't been winning competitions lately, that's because he hasn't been entering lately. When he was entering, he was winning all the time. He's finally back after a hiatus, and I mean, this works really well. And the angle that he's taken it, the door itself could have a good 6 foot of clearance in front of it as a safety exit, but the way that this is all put together works well. So nicely done, Lath. Let's do two more and then we'll take a look at some
Yeah.
questions. So
Oh,
Marcus,
can I also add that whoever's putting the trash out is not doing it properly? Those bins say paper and cardboard only. It does not look like it's just paper and cardboard.
well,
Just
on
saying.
behalf of the trash taker outer, let's just do a little check on that. That looks like paper and cardboard on the left, although pizza boxes aren't recyclable. This doesn't say recycle. Oh, it does recycle pack. What? It's Coke boxes, pizza boxes, and then the other one has lots of cans and stuff. So it's a VB. So this looks like it might have been taken in the rocks of Sydney. So the other trash in there was probably just thrown in by drunks late at night.
Uh, dang.
So I think, was that already two? No, this one. Marcus Brown signs. Um, there's so much to look through on this one. What's going on?
Uh,
So
I like it.
I like it too. I would like if that we're in this together was over the top of a bunch of different political messaging or something, or like whatever the thing was, like really radically opposing messages, and then we've got that we're in this together. That would be quite poignant. But it's interesting. It's kind of like decoupage with the layers of different painting and stuff that are going on there. Is that a known character? It says Nabu.
I don't know, but I would like to give this one a pick
Oh,
because
there you go. It's like
there's just
where
a
the
lot
wild
of
things are.
yeah, like there's go eat a bucket of chicken. Uh, heaven or hell, you'll still be around friends.
There's a top corner is GIMP for presidents.
Oh, there we go.
A weak person seeks war, a warrior seeks peace. Ooh.
Hmm.
Cool. All right, let's switch back and take a look at some questions. Spicy Panda, great name. What's the best?
Wow.
I'll throw this one to you first, Steph. What's the best way to approach a model about a shoot, professionalisms and wording and such?
Okay. Let's just assume that you're probably going to message her via Instagram or an email.
Or him?
Please make sure that everything is grammatically correct, and you're professional, and you lay as many details out as possible, and you clearly state what the goal is for what you're trying to book her for. Um, yeah, I mean, just be respectful and just I'm not really sure what else to include.
So
Oh, and show samples of your own work.
I would
That helps
say
too.
you don't need to assume that every model you're contacting is going to be a stickler for grammar in the same way that Steph is. Especially a lot of people. It depends where you are as well. Where
I
here,
just take it as professionalism though. It's like if you take the time to actually like check the email or the message, then I know that you'll actually like put the appropriate amount of work in. Um, and plus, as models, we get a lot of like spam emails
yeah.
or like scam because they'll list things out, but then all of a sudden there's something that's not spelled right. And I'm like, hmm. That's when I question and I do research and I'm like, oh, this is a scam.
So I guess it depends which way. So Spicy Panda's not going to be sending out, we want to hire you for a Nike campaign, that kind of spam that models get a lot. I assume they're saying more like they're contacting someone, they've seen their social media, this, that, or the other, and they want to ask them about a shoot. So, whilst I agree with Steph, it is a good point for professionalism. I do also think it's part of good communication that you match your subject and the medium where you're communicating matters as well. If you're writing an email
Yeah.
versus a text versus an Instagram message, I'm not going to write, Dear Miss Fam, yours sincerely, Matt
Yeah.
Granger, on a Instagram message or something. And if you send a formal email and you get back, yeah, IDK, what are you thinking, that kind of reply, then it would be weird to proceed in a really formal way. But certainly sending through samples of your work, specifics if you have them about what it is you're wanting to shoot, or options if you're wanting it to be a collaboration, and some inspiration images. And if it's the first time shooting, or if there's a gray area, maybe even listing out what it's not going to be. So if you're asking to do shoots at the beach or something, then you can say examples like this, but I'm not looking to do anything topless, or whatever it is, to clear up any but is there an extra angle here type thoughts that may form in someone's mind. Sean just wanted to note you're not wearing a blanket. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I don't know. I just been pretty good because the heat's on. So and Timmy and Lucky are not complaining for once. So taking advantage of it while I can before they bump up the AC.
Rob Specht, Matt, would you create a playlist of the videos in 2020 that you think were the best ones, regardless of the viewer numbers? Thank you. It's a good idea. I hadn't thought of doing it as a playlist. I did, as part of a email a couple of months ago, put together what were my 5 most viewed videos and what I thought were my 5 best videos, and I think there was only one overlap, or maybe none. So yeah, I could. A playlist is actually a really cool idea for that. Um, got some more questions here. Oh, no, I think we have pretty much. Uh, so David Moore, yes, this show is always on. The details about it are at mattgranger.com/live. That's the only place you need to be looking for the details on this guy. I think that might be it. If you have any other questions or comments, then send them through. We have, how many more images have we got? Oh, we've got like 5 or 6 still to go. So let's jump in. And again, if anyone, if you entered a shot and you entered it correctly, followed the instructions. I didn't hold the dimensions as I showed because they were all over the place again this week. But file name and whatnot and sent to the right place, then they are here. Okay, so I don't know if this was taken with a cell phone or with film and pushed. So the sign seems completely self-evident, um, but my recollection is I think Milan is in the Philippines, so maybe this was a protest in the Philippines. Um, it's an interesting one. It's not what I expect from a protest like this. The four most dominant characters at the front are kind of smiling and laughing, it seems, rather than angry or shouting at some other people on the other side of the street. But I assume this is a Palestinian diaspora protesting something that, some policy change. Um, if anything, I kind of really like seeing this kind of a protest where everyone seems to be in good spirits rather than just screaming and shouting, because so often you can get lost in any disagreement, especially at a protest where it then like goals just get completely displaced, and it's just teams, and it's fuck you, no fuck you, and it's not about the issue anymore. And it's not the place anyway to have a policy discussion with two sides holding placards. So at least having some
Hmm.
kind of a levity to it, I think, is a nice change to what you normally expect. Um, any thoughts on this, Steph? Does Trump speak for Vietnamese Americans? Don't get into it. I'm only joking.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother. It's just politics, protests. I steer clear away from all of that.
Wise.
Even when they're doing protests in Philly, I'm like, I don't even want to be in this city, just because I'm like really scared of like the possible dangers just from, I mean, watching the news and all of that. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Matt. Like, it seems like everybody's actually enjoying themselves, which is, I feel like I never see that. Honestly, at first, I didn't even think that the sign was real because, like, of how white the sign is and then how clear everything is. So I was just really confused at first. It's like, is this even real or was this like a composite? Um, yeah, I actually really like it, even though it's like little angled, but I think it works well. So I would like to give this one a pick too.
Oh, very nice. Okay. Um, I will let you start on the next one, please. Netto. Oh, and speaking of spicy panda, what do you think, Steph?
Uh, the most authentic Chinese food around, for sure.
I've not actually
Panda
tried it.
Express.
What's the story?
It's it's like this fast food. I don't even know. It's like Americanized Chinese fast food, I guess. It okay. I usually just go to like the Panda Express, well, before when the mall was open, and you would just go to the food court, and it's pretty awesome, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I just love how cute the panda looks. The food is, I mean, it's small, fast food, so
Okay.
it's kind of whatever.
So again,
Um,
you have to take this as a
yeah.
what is the story? You can't just have a bright light panda be the shot. So I feel like you've got the
Yeah.
makings of an interesting shot. I actually think that you've brightened the sign up to allow you to darken the back down. The the kind of halo we're getting around here looks a lot like you've applied a filter, and then we're getting this green and magenta fringing. But down here in the bottom left, the car headlights, there's actually some interest there. So maybe reframing this to get more of the city in the background, and then you're kind of, it's like a beacon for drunks to be drawn to at 2 in the morning. You get a kind of a story from it rather than just a sign on the wall. Um, Karsten Larsen, well, that's just a sweet sign, isn't it?
Oh,
The welcome
I like the
sign and the
framing.
heart is just as weathered as each other. Um, I mean, if it were the first shot that I had seen in the series, I think it's pretty simple. But having seen a lot of them, it's actually really stands out from the others we've had entered because it's simple, it's sweet, it does tell a story. Um, yeah, I think it's a nice one. Thanks, Carsten.
I feel like this is something on like a postcard.
For like a seaside port town.
Yeah,
I think you could
yeah.
just push your whites up a little bit though. Boop, boop, like that. Tom Harvey, another funny one. That I have to say, that looks like a lot of Chinese to only be translated into 3 words. I don't buy it. I'll have to ask my wife what does that say fully. Um,
It's it's like photos like these. Like I said, it's gotta. There had to be somebody
well,
that just
yeah. I
did
mean,
it and was like, oh man,
it's at the
I
right
have to put a
height.
sign here now.
It's pretty much a perfect shape for it. The other one might have been out of order. I mean, it's all porcelain, am I right?
I,
This, I'm just going to say it, nanny state. It's a toilet. But, so I mean, it's framed up with the toilet, so that gives it context. But again, it's just a ha-ha snapshot of an image.
yeah,
Wim Whelms. So this, I think, is more clever.
yeah,
The treatment is super gritty. I'm not sure, but you know that kind of is necessary. But then having the WC sign and then that filthy pipe hole there, it yeah, it's humorous. It's kind of a documentary thing. I wonder what part of the world we're in here. It looks like Arabic. I'm not sure where. Um, I mean, again, fairly simple shot, but maybe works a little bit better than the other snapshots that we've had entered. And that is actually our final one all the way through. So let's jump back whilst we'll both take a look, Steph, and see what are our favorites. I'll put it on the 2 shots so we can just have a look at our thinking faces. And if you have questions, let me know, folks. I'm going to check the questions whilst I have a look at the pics. Oh, I don't really see any questions other than photorescence. Would I take the f1.2 Holy Trinity from Canon in primes or the Holy Trinity of zooms? I actually, it doesn't even say would I choose. It was just that or that. That's totally up to you. Do you want 1.2 primes or do you want 2.8 zooms? It's quite a different choice. And I think it's a topic that's been covered so many times. And I know that you're an experienced shooter. You can make your own mind up on that. I think I know my winner, Daniel Swainpool. What about you, Steph?
This is really hard. I would have to say Ian Knight. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's switch back and show those. So it is Daniel and Ian. Nicely done. So I'll be in touch with you guys. Ian's won a lot lately, and I think Daniel has won something in the past as well. And Alex has just sent through 6-part question. I'm sorry, dude, but I'm not going to read through all of that live on air. So congratulations to Danny and Ian. I'll be in touch so we can get a prize out to you guys. Oh, and here we go in the chat now. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. Daniel, good to see you in the chat again. You've been chiming in a lot lately with only constantly negative things to say about Hong Kong. It's your right, it's your opinion. But on a recent video where I mentioned that I had been approved for my bank account, You basically called me a liar and then didn't reply to my follow-up. So this is my new bank card. So if you're intentionally trying to post misinformation on the page, I won't stand for it and I'll kick you out. If you're just misinformed, that's fine, but don't leave cheap shots and then run away, because that's kind of shitty. So thank you to everyone.
Actually,
Sorry?
we'll take the time to read Alex's comments later because I think he actually presents something really interesting. So, yeah.
You're telling me I should read it after?
Yeah.
Okay,
It
so
was pretty interesting suggestion.
cool. All right, thanks, Alex. I will screenshot it right now so that I have it to look through later. Appreciate that. Alex has lots of great things, but you can appreciate, I don't know how many people are in the room. It's a bit odd to read out a small essay in front of everyone unless it's a question that I can give you some feedback with now. If there's any other last questions, then send them through. Otherwise, reminder to get your best shot of 2020 entered over at the webpage mattgranger.com/live. We're going to go through those on the 26th, 27th, so 3 weeks today. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, Juan, for joining us today and sending through the questions. It's good to have you here. I'm glad you were able to join us today, and to Yobo. And stay tuned. I've got some more content from around Hong Kong in the form of vlogs coming. And as I said at the start of this, after this live show, I'm meeting up with a yoga teacher to do some shooting on the street to compare some different equipment. So I hope that I'll have that out in the next couple of days as well. So check it out, folks. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you, Steph. And do you think you'll make it for the 26th show, or you need to see what you've got on?
I think I'll be able to make it. I mean, it's not like I'm going anywhere. So.
Cool. So that is your invitation, everyone, to send in your best bug shots of the year if you'd like.
Oh hell no! I'm I'm sick. No.
Well, if you do that, you probably won't get a pick or a win from Steph. So, but I'll still look at them carefully. All right. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye, guys.
Get prepped for this next shoot.